down revision of Order philosophy.
We're not going anywhere! Not on the basis of some half-baked prediction! Except for the fact that you ain't yelling and trying to eat me. I'd have pegged you as some sort of prosperous scrapper by the rough look you got about you. You do got a certain feral look in your eye, though. Okay. I give up. Tell me.
I prefer to think of myself as a free agent. No commitments, no complications.
Cheers to that, friend. When war looms its ugly head, adaptation is key. May Huffstutler, formerly Auntie's Choice, Department of Invasive Marketing. Now, the voice of the displaced. That's what those in the Order call me, leastways. An unofficial sobriquet, likely meant as a petulant slight. On account I object. Louder. More often than the rest. Those of us ended up here have very little except needs. I turned those into demands for reasons of clarity and import.
A helpful troublemaker is a noble calling.
Though, admittedly, it's a difficult way to make friends. The Order's not exactly fond of me. Rabble-rousing doesn't align with their vision of a perfect universe. Happy as I am to make your acquaintance, I'm busy staking our claim over the exclusion zone, so if you'll excuse me.
What was that about the exclusion zone?
The exclusion zone. The Order has decided to keep us out thanks to some nebulous prediction of disaster. Screw their predictions. We have people, displaced by war and disaster, in sore need of space. There's plenty of room to house them.
Okay, that does make no sense.
Thank you. That's what I've been trying to tell everyone. I honestly don't give the slightest whit about the Order's idea of math or whatever calculation tells them that a catastrophe may or may not occur. I couldn't get anywhere with Administrator Daggerwall, but maybe you'll have better luck.
Well, being former Auntie's Choice, you'll understand if I ask about a reward.
I got a pretty fancy gun I was issued back when I was a rising star at Auntie's. Side with us, and it's yours. Even throw in a healthy amount of bits for your troubles.
Okay, well, I'll give it a try.
Thanks, stranger. Maybe fate's on our side for a change. You can find Agarwal in the lift building. Probably formulating another equation to get on my nerves.
Alright. Let's see what I can do here.
Another colony?
Welcome.
I predict
Have you
with
come
an
to
8.2
Alrighty.
1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provisions and supplies for the displaced.
Well, you seem pretty busy.
I have zero allotted time for random queries, at present or in the foreseeable future. But very well. As the assigned provisioner, I am responsible for coordinating the requisition and distribution of comestibles, medicinals, and miscellaneous vital supplies. The overwhelming majority of my time is dedicated to this, leaving only moments to see to the Order's needs in the settlement. But it is an effort I undertake with great relish. You may not have noticed, but the refugees do not want for food or medicine.
Yeah, sorry to say, but the displaced may not have noticed that either.
With the great disruption that has occurred to their lives, one can hardly blame them. That they are fed and remain healthy is sufficient for me.
I bet you're more stressed than you let on, but you seem happy about it.
The Order of the Ascendant is dedicated to the ascension of humanity. Our ultimate goal may not be reached in our lifetime. If I can help others in need today, I shall do so to the utmost extent of my abilities and resources. Appreciate you respecting my time.
I feel like you disrespected mine, but whatever.
What is it? I have 15 seconds of allotted time for non-specific discourse, so choose your words with expediency. Oh, don't tell me. You're here on behalf of the voice of the displaced, aren't you?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just a humble courier. Well, how'd you know she sent me?
Mathematical predictions always keep us one step ahead. My latest augury noted that a stranger would come bearing an inconvenient message. This is about the exclusion zone, correct? I keep forgetting you're a newcomer and unfamiliar to these parts. The exclusion zone is a mere corner of Matriarch's mercy, and rightfully off limits. You see, the seer predicted that a calamity would befall the exclusion zone. warning that the barrier must not be crossed. But the ever-disruptive voice of the displaced is dead set on occupying the exclusion zone anyway, laughing in the face of certain peril.
Well, you warned them, right? Can't save every fallen Pector, eh?
Surely. But the abbot asked me to be personally responsible for their continued well-being. The seer has augured death for anyone who enters the exclusion zone. Yes, you heard me right. Death. Furthermore, and I quote, an outside mediator, having earned the confidence of both sides, has a high likelihood of clearing up an ongoing dispute. And now the voice has involved you. How auspicious. Perhaps you are the outside mediator who was foretold.
If you believe both sides will listen, I'm in.
I believe only in the cold, inconvenient mathematics of the cosmos. This will work. It must work. The first step is to familiarize yourself with every angle of the dispute. Talk to the people of Matriarch's Mercy. The displaced want the exclusion zone. We want it kept off limits. We can't both be right. With your seasoned perspective, perhaps the voice of the displaced will learn to listen. Any questions before you get started?
Oh, what can you tell me about it, though?
I can tell you she's a rabble-rouser of the highest order. Still, she cleaves to her principles. That's something. You can find her outside, among her people, stubbornly defying an order barricade. But you already knew that.
Yeah. Really, you said I was foretold?
Novice Seer Vicarage should have ample time to illuminate you on the Order's forecast modeling methods. He's just down the room from here.
So if I learn about everyone's concern, I'll earn enough trust to resolve this?
According to predictions, yes. Or at least, my interpretation of them. I am reasonably certain. More than usual, in fact. Many people around camp support or object to our methods. Speak to them. Form your own opinion. And when you are ready, we will decide the fate of the exclusion zone.
Why the fuck? That was so weirdly stated. What the fuck? There we go. Cool. Yeah. There. Okay. I forgot that I had that on my head. Alright.
By the law. It's you.
Hi.
Thank the architect you're finally here. I've scarcely breathed while hoping you'd come. I am in desperate need of your help.
Okay. You don't even know
True,
me.
but the Order's predictions know you better than you know yourself.
Alright. Fine. Entertain me. Well, first off, what do you think of the condition?
As a doctor, I'm appalled. We don't have enough beds or private quarters to separate people, so sickness is blazing an unhappy trail through the refugees. Of course, the Order keeps us well supplied with meds, but things will get worse as long as we're overcrowded. Yes, I can treat sickness as it arises. It would be leagues better to prevent it entirely. That means space to spread out.
Anything I could do to assist with that?
Since you asked, you can run this medicine to Horst Lambing. Just don't shake the man's hand. He has a habit of coughing into his palm when he covers it at all.
And you desperately need my help with something else?
You see, the Seers are members of the Order who labor over the universal equation. Even in its unfinished state, the equation gives them the means to predict the future. Recently, I had a rare opportunity to ask the Seer for guidance. He told me that a dashing outsider would answer my prayers. I feared the prediction was a fluke, but here you are. A dashing outsider standing before me.
Alright, so what do you need so badly?
Where to begin? There are so many sick and wounded in Matriarch's mercy, and I have but 2 imperfect hands. I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the seer predicted an outsider would find them.
Okay, I'll find them. I'll find them. Why not? Or actually, do you think you can help?
Might have time to patch up 1 or 2 patients before we head out. I used to be a combat medic. A good one, too.
You also strike me as someone on the go. I need committed medical employees, not a freelancer. The seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks.
Okay, well, before we get to that, another
How can
thing.
I be of service?
What
Since
you got?
you aren't a refugee, I hope you understand that I cannot offer my goods free of charge, but my prices are fair.
Okay, let's see. Uh-huh. Well, what about you? And then just sell the junk. Cool. We got a burst AR. I actually have a decent amount of stuff too. Alright. So what we got? Codex, logs, Seer's prediction. A taxidermist, the savant with needle and thread can be found within the bounds of Matriarch's mercy. An automechanical that has fallen prey to scrappers located in the west in the Guardian's estate. A plumber, specialist in the mode deprived and yet essential biological functions, is currently in the trenches of combat. Oh, son of a bitch. Does that... Okay, that doesn't give me shit.
You're right. The universe does not orient itself toward fairness. But it's my firm belief humanity can do better.
All evidence to the contrary.
Deal with you later.
I pleasantly anticipated this exact moment. My personalized order prediction and weekly prognostics report both mentioned encountering an unforeseen factor about now. I suppose that designation doesn't wholly apply to you, though, does it? Predicting future events is an imprecise science. Currently, that is. Well, then. I read that you'd have questions about our predictive methods, correct?
Well, yeah, how does it predict the future?
Utilize a mix of proprietary research methods to gather as complete a data set as possible, and advanced calculations using well-honed models to effectuate it. None of us predict events with complete accuracy or absolute detail. We'd need to solve the universal equation to do that. Fortunately, we're all working very hard on that problem. The Department of Predictive Analysis provide weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions to help steer our followers' paths.
And your department does what now?
The Department of Predictive Analysis is mainly populated by seers like myself, who represent the Order's most talented mathematicians. After years of study, some can predict events a few seconds or minutes into the future with reasonable precision. Others can estimate with up to 71.1% accuracy several months out. Of course, predictions have grown more difficult with the loss of the archive, but I am not to speak of that with an outsider. No offense.
Well, do those get in the way of your prediction?
Unforeseen factors, random elements, anomalous outliers, incalculable variables, all of them can undercut the accuracy of our predictions. But as we close in on solving the universal equation, unknown unknowns will become known unknowns. Then finally, known knowns. You follow?
Well, can you tell me anything about the situation this element?
Matriarch's mercy is brimming beyond capacity with those cast out by war. But we of the Order rise to every challenge and continually strive to better our guests' existence. Why, I, for instance, have availed my predictive methods to our refugee neighbors in the area.
I can't understand why I'm not seeing them, though. Do you like any substantial ways to aid the refugees?
There's nothing more practical than improving lives now, is there? We've offered the displaced access to our weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions. Engagement is admittedly rather low, but at least one member of the camp reports he has benefited from them greatly.
And one person.
One of our recent guests, Rolo Nast, has received multiple personalized order predictions. I believe he could speak to the effectiveness of our ways firsthand. If my own humble assertions are not enough, I trust his attestations would convince you, and perhaps other members of the displaced as well.
Attestations.
I foresee you have much to do. I won't keep you. Adieu.
Okay, you are interesting.
Please don't take me on a cotangent.
What? Hi.
Ah, you must be the, Earth Directorate Agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. Allow me to welcome you to Golden Ridge. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability?
Alright, start using smaller words or I'm gonna be using bullets here.
In the future, a simple no will suffice. The presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, pursuant to our normal standards of compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge?
I need to spit. I need a fucking. I need to wet my friggin' lips. Jesus Christ. Speak. To Victor.
Victor? Oh, yes, Archivist Clemens. Quite the mind. Such encyclopedic knowledge of engineering. One could almost mistake him for an exemplar. Is he in some kind of trouble?
I'm not sure, but it seems like he's involved with the plot to destroy Arcadia.
Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse.
A friend of the trader I'm after said she and Victor had secret contacts within the Order.
And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the N-Ray range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution.
Okay. But can you be more specifics?
Besides the highly caustic Zeranium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay.
Sounds more and more like Victor's working with the trader I'm hunting.
Victor is dedicated. Single-minded, one could say. I've always thought highly of his analytical skills as a researcher. Less so his social ones, perhaps. Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a conspiracy within the Order, whether Victor is involved or not. As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation.
Well, I'm glad that we're on the same page. How can I return the favor and help you out?
No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Anti's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate?
No, because again, you can have an internal review on anything and you'll be like, oh, everything's fine.
Choosing levity at a moment like this is only further evidence of your lack of good judgment.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend, but the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. it's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence, but if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace.
So, just checking, you're sure the Order didn't intentionally attack Auntie's Choice?
Most assuredly not. It would eliminate the entire point of the ceasefire. Please convey that fact to whomever you speak with.
Yeah, well, thanks for the leads. I'll look into all of this.
I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth wouldn't have sent you otherwise. Here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings.
Okay, well, I have a few questions before that.
Illuminating the path to true erudition is an abbot's moral duty. Whatever I can tell you, I will.
Okay, so you are saying he's a seer. What that?
A calling for those with a greater than average talent for mathematics and computation, particularly in the field of predictive analysis.
Okay, you can predict the future.
Yes.
Seer Wiley is being too modest about his contributions. Many in the Order rely on seers for their indispensable counsel. I myself would be lost without mine.
I too value a good lucky.
Oh yeah? Is now a good time to talk about my salary?
No. Our bond is an equitable partnership built upon a foundation of mutual respect and dedication to the plan. In fact, what would you put our combined efficacy rate at these days, Wiley?
I won't trouble our good agent here with the exact calculation, but the percentage is considerable.
I dread the day your immeasurable talent finally propels you into the upper echelons. Truly, Landon, the Order doesn't realize what it has in you.
And before, this is like a fucking thing where Landon is like the fucking head of the betrayer. They sent in Victor and the rest of the people using DeVries as an option to go and attack. Failed the ceasefire because of the whole prediction engine that they have. They'll just believe that they will be able to outrank them or some shit.
Oh, indeed. I needn't educate you on what you can see with your very eyes. There is a great deal of pressure on me to navigate what is a rather novel situation. Without Wiley, I dare say our predicament here would be even more precarious. Many lives depend on him, on us both. Why, Matriarch's Mercy would not be the refuge it is without his predictions shepherding its development.
Okay. Well, that isn't saying much. It's a disaster.
Not if you consider the alternative. Its absence would be far more catastrophic for these poor refugees. Really, the Order is being quite charitable.
Okay, well, what's the story with the giant statue, though?
That is a statue of the matriarch, Alexandra Varick, Arcadia's founder and for whom the monastery was named after. Regrettably, Alexandra Monastery is closed to non-Order members at the moment, given recent troubles. But perhaps Seer Wiley can give us an estimation of its reopening.
Oh, certainly. According to my calculations, the monastery will be accessible to certain members of the public shortly.
Haha, good news indeed. Oh, you really must visit. The observatory is a true sight to behold.
Shortly. Yeah, great. Love that. All right. Let's see, who else can we talk to?
That new rifle up at the monastery.
Hope you appreciated how I bit my tongue back there with the abbot. Didn't want things to come to blows with civilians in the crossfire. Full of excuses for the attack, wasn't he? Could be that he's sincere. Or could be that he has his hands so full with keeping his community from falling apart that he missed a memo or two. Either way, I'm willing to stay my hand until we know the truth. If it were my folk buried under the rubble, I'd want to know for certain before acting. Besides, ain't nobody around here better suited for investigating than we are.
Yeah, I think that's better than I expected.
I prefer doing my shooting after asking all the pertinent questions, Commander. While we're at it playing detective, we need to scope out opportunity. If there are any survivors, we ought to help, however we're able. I can only hope they had warning enough to run for cover. If they didn't, well, there's only so much basic training can prepare you for.
You speaking from experience?
Once endured a week-long bombardment in a foxhole with only enough rations to last 3 days. Screams went on twice that long. Some of us still ain't fully recovered. We should move on, unless you've got something for me?
Yeah, we'll talk later. Okay. Alright.
We need to help the folk at Opportunity, Commander. Void the Abbot. He's more concerned with exonerating his own than with making things right.
Yeah, we'll do both. Don't worry. You will be fine. Wait. How do I talk to this dude?
What happened to this place? Law. Matriarch's mercy is no safer than the trenches.
No quests. Tasks.
Look on the bright side. I predict that the worst is behind us.
Look,
Here we go.
I'm not with Auntie anymore.
Sorry, I'm all out of throat lozenges. I'll try not to sneeze on you, but no promises.
Well, here. Take this.
Law, finally. Real relief for my fake symptoms. Let's see it then.
Unless you really want this, because I might need more.
Now that you mention it, you do seem to be of a genuine sickly disposition. Here, buy your own medicine. This one's mine. Besides, I'm guessing you need something stronger for whatever it is you've got. You have my gratitude, stranger.
Cool. Honestly, wasn't expecting to get 500, but sure, we'll take it. Okay. What do we have? Talk to the people. Oh, there's another dude up top.
Oh, a visitor. Without notice. Hello. You weren't mentioned in my latest personalized order projection. I mean, prediction. Granted, I mostly skim the parts what don't cover probabilistic dangers, so perhaps you were alluded to in some, roundabout fashion. Suppose that means you're not a threat. So that's good, right? Yeah, I reckon that's good.
Never Vicarage mentioned you had a good experience.
I'll say, I try not to make any big plans until I consult my latest POP. First time I got a POP, it was on a lark. It said, Rolo Nast, our seer has predicted you must wear a helmet today. I borrowed one. As a laugh, everybody ribbed me about it. Just after lunch, wind picked up on the cliff above and dropped a mock apple 152 meters straight down onto my head. Fortunately, I still had that brain case on.
How accurate would you say the order's predictions are?
I mean, if you want an exact estimate or percentage, talk to them. As for me, I just got that, anecdotal feedback. A few times, I couldn't make heads or tail of half of it. Like, avoid anything representing whole numbers. I didn't know what to do about that. So I just stayed put. End of the day, I'm still here, and my co-occupant Ike isn't. So, I guess them prognostications work well enough.
Those, yeah, they just seem impractically vague.
You did catch the part I said they saved my life, right? I think alive is a notable improvement on dead. That's something you can take to the bank, Figuratively speaking. I don't know why the other displaced have been so slow to take to them. But I'm not complaining too loud. Waited for my latest POPs long enough already.
Okay. Huh. Alright, let's see if that works.
Scienticians around the settlement inform me you've made some inquiries. Good, good. Continue poking around further, though. You must earn both sides' trust, you know.
Alright, where...
Have you spoken to all representatives of the Order? All of the displaced? The Doctor? The questionable types from Sub Rosa? Investigated the containers? If not, do. Well then, if you need me in the meantime, I'll be here, up to my ocular organs and requests.
Alright, talk to you later.